Well, there's the Germans with Josina Papenfuss, the 2019 European Under-20 steeplechase bronze medalist. Slightly obscured just behind her, Paula Schneiders, the woman who actually finished 2 places in front of her compatriot in the steeplechase. There's Battocletti, finished second in the 5,000 metres.
And Matevi next to her is the world mountain running champion, referred to by Anna.
Yes, there's Machado, who's had some very good runs in the Spanish cross-country races. And Elias Glabas, well, she really came to our attention at the European Under-18 Championships in 2016 when we were in Georgia. And she has gone on to win European Under-20 titles. And Mariana Machado, daughter of a 3-time Olympian for Portugal, Albertina Machado, as she became later known. With whiz past there, Dudek of Poland, I should say. I think Dudek could actually be a competitor here. And there's Clara Lucan. Well, Lucan beat Battocletti in that very exciting European Under-20 5,000 metre race back in Boras and took the gold medal for Slovenia. So Slovenia, well represented here. Just a few anxious... They've already got them into the pens. They've got them in very quickly. But just very quickly, quick insights into the British team as well, because our host broadcaster hasn't said anything about them.
And the British team is always incredibly competitive in this race. We've had so many medals. We had Steph Twell with her 3 consecutive junior titles. I hope they can get up in the medals again.
You have to go back to 1999, the last time we failed to win Britain failed to win a medal in this event.
Yes, I think this is one area where we can get just a little bit parochial. So we take a pause now for the gun. Somebody's put their heart monitor over the loudspeaker system. It's going thump, thump, thump across the course.
And just another word on the course. These junior women are starting with 2 short laps of 500 metres, and I'm nervous about this. It's tight turns. They're really not going to spread out much by the time they're negotiating some really tough turns. So I really am going to be holding my breath around some of these corners and hoping they can all get through unscathed.
Well, of course, progressively over the course of the day, even though it's dry conditions, the course will cut up as well. It will get a little bit more slippery, and the turns will get a little bit more treacherous as the day goes on. Well, it's unfolding. 93 competitors from 27 countries in this race. And it's Dudek of Portugal, who won the 3,000 metres in Boras. She's at high school in the United States and then comes backwards and forwards across Europe whenever there's a major competition. I think Dudek...
Glabas there, I saw training on the course yesterday, and she was running that section from the trees down to the finish again and again, doing reps. Because it is quite confusing, and I think that might be what happened with Ingebrigtsen, because you can see both the start and the finish funnels in the same place, and sometimes it's confused to remember which is which.
Well, we can see at this early stage of the race, it is Nadia Battocletti who has a very, very good finish, leading the way at the moment. Machado of Portugal up there, Dudek of Poland, Glabas out on the far side, close to the barriers of Switzerland. So most of the main protagonists there. As you were saying, that is a very tight corner, and I think there was a few women there who were having a few problems getting around it. They were squashed against that inside line.
No, and there is going to be a lot of tactics in this first kilometre, and we might see people kind of squeezed out the back of these groups and maybe not even have the time to get back up where you'd expect to finish. We do, however, have two long laps with some good open running, so you'd hope they can get themselves back up there.
And we did see a few people come through from quite a way back in the under-20 men's race, in particular Gidai. He didn't start at all prominently, one would say. There we see the first split of 625 metres. Angela Vicchiosa there, the daughter of Isaac Vicchiosa, former European champion, and her sister was also running last year in these championships, so family with good genes there. Ángela Vicioso, one of the Spanish team. Spanish hoping that they can get back into team medals on this occasion. As we scroll down there, Lucan, the Slovenian, well, I think she just got caught slightly with that very aggressive first, let's just say 800 metres, Lucan, but she's worked her way through over the course of the last 200 metres to get up there. We've also got Trapp of France. Up there. Benizzi Fry out on the far left-hand side of your screen, the Briton, one of the, as we were saying, very strong British team. Manon Trapp up there in about 8th position at the moment. She finished back in 7th at the European under-20 3,000 metres, but she's had a very good winter on the French cross-country circuit and won the very strong Pratil cross-country race just on the outskirts of Paris. There we see after the first lap, Great Britain in front at the moment. First scorer, I think, well, we've got Saskia Millard up there.
Yeah, no, Saskia Millard is a second-year medical student from University of Birmingham, coached by my husband, so I know too much. But yeah,
you know
it's great.
You know enough.
I know enough, but yeah, she won the British trials. So that's often an indication that you can go on to perform quite well at this race. But we've touched on the calibre, the depth in this race is really, really tremendous, and I don't think we'll see the dominance we have in some years of the British team.
I make it 3 British runners, nevertheless, in the top 12, and then just a little way back to, I think it's Olivia Mason. We'll just get confirmation of that. Megan Keith also up there showing well. Amelia Samuels. Vicioso, we mentioned her earlier, just slipping back a little bit at this stage. It's already starting to string out. I mean, it strung out a lot quicker than it did in the under-20 men's race.
No, absolutely it did, and perhaps that was the 2 short, flatter laps, sort of allowing it to spread out a bit, and now we're really going to see sort of the true nature of the field as they come up this climb for the first time.
Italy and Switzerland at the moment just behind Great Britain and Northern Ireland in the team standings. Host Portugal just a little bit further back in 5th place as we scroll through all the nations with competing teams in this competition. At this stage, all the leading athletes looking pretty comfortable. There's a slight gap occurring between the top 6 and then back to, I think it's Megan Keith in 7th place now at the moment. Nice overhead shot here. As I was saying, we are very much in the centre of Portugal.
And all 4 of those 5 leading women are all reigning European under-20 champions at various distances. The only one who isn't is Portugal's great hope, Mariana Machado, and she was silver medalist behind Dudek in the 3,000 metres.
Yes, I mean, in that 3,000 metres, of course, Machado did get felled about halfway into that race at about 1,300 metres. She did pick herself up very quickly, it has to be said. But Dudek, I think, was a bit of a surprise in those championships. She was certainly a surprise to me. Perhaps Polish athletics fans would disagree with me, but Dudek has come on and shown, I mean, just in these early stages of the race, that she's running extremely well.
Lucy Sklabas has an absolutely phenomenal range from 800 up to the longer distances, and I think she looks pretty good to me today. She's biding her time and just staying out of trouble.
So we've got the leading 5 there with Battocletti leading, Machado of Portugal, Kuvan of Slovenia, Dudek of Poland. Dudek just slipping back a little bit there. She just lost her footing very slightly, and Delia Sklabas is super talented. And she's also a virtuoso musician as well, so she's got quite a range of talents, not just a running talent. So these 5 starting to break away a little bit at the moment.
I think it's tremendously interesting that we have all the defending champions in every race today, and to maybe see how they handle that pressure. And obviously it didn't seem to affect Jakob Ingebrigtsen one bit, but it's going to be confidence coming in and remembering what you did the year before. But there's also an element of pressure these athletes are going to be carrying from last year. And Battocletti doesn't look like it's phasing her so far, but as the race unwinds, it might be interesting to see. She's front running, she's putting her stall out there. Is that because she's confident or because of pressure?
Well, it's looking now that a gap's growing between the leading 5 and then the 2 Britons following them at about 20 and 30 metres. So it's Izzy Fry and 7th place. Megan Keith, I think, is in 7th place, just looking down the line there. But it's these leading 5 at the moment. We're about halfway into this race, starting to make quite an impact on the rest of the field, and it is Battocletti. Well, they're coming down the hill here. It looks as though Dudak is having a little bit of problems. Arm action, swinging side to side. She doesn't look quite as comfortable to pick out one of that leading 5.
I mean, people say, running downhill is easy, but not hills like this. These are extreme hills, and I think there will be some technique coming in, particularly in this next section. It's going to come up a slight rise here, and then the drop down now is really quite severe, and I think a lot of athletes find that very hard to cope with.
Shoe and spike selection, what would be your choice?
Oh, I'd say this is probably a 9mm day. There's some slightly heavier sections, particularly in the start and the finish straight, and it's soft enough to take a 9mm, but you're not going to need a 12mm spike on this.
Looking there, we had the featured, we had Pappenfuss in the opening presentation, and also Schneider's there. The German's not showing at the moment with 1 lap to go.
Well, funny enough, I was just looking for Schneider's myself, because she was the one reigning champion that's not visible.
So we're back at the front there. Dudak seems to have caught a second win. Compared to the much more diminutive figures of the women alongside her, Machado, Battocletti, Sklarback and Lucan.
I think perhaps we're going to see some of the home advantage here. We know that the Portuguese athletes have had a chance to race on this course before, and to me, this section now, you're going to come uphill now for another sort of, I don't know, maybe 600, 800 metres. I think this is the pinnacle tactical moment. This is when you're going to make or break your race and put the pressure on the other athletes.
Just looking as we scroll through there, roughly the top 20. Mateve back in about 14th. Fuller, the very good German. Well, we thought she was going to show a bit more prominently. She's in 15th, and Megan Keith, after showing very well in the first half of the race, slipping back. But Great Britain and Northern Ireland still in front in the team competition with, well, 1.5 kilometres to go. One more long lap still to go.
Well, the Italian ladies in this race are not far behind Great Britain there in the team score, and a lot could change in this last lap.
One thing I just noticed, whether we can see her on screen, 9th place Greta Varga of Hungary, the youngest competitor here. She's only 15, so she's running well above expectations.
So now Machado looking as though she's actually making a bit of a move here and surging. She's grimacing. Battocletti covering it. Sklarbass now clearly starting to struggle a little bit. Dudak, having come through what appeared to be a slightly bad patch, is alongside Lucan. Nothing really to choose between the first 4, but Sklarbass starting to drop back. Dudak, I don't think Dudak likes the hills, but on the flats and on the downhills, she seems to be picking up the pace a lot. Dudak just slipping back. Sklarbass now clearly starting to drift out of contention. Machado has clearly wound that up over the course of the last few hundred metres, but Battocletti covering everything. Battocletti looking as though she really is not going to give up that gold medal without a big fight. Machado, terrific win though, only 19 years of age, and she beat a whole host of top African athletes at one of the top Spanish cross-country meetings last month.
No, this looks like a really deliberate move for me from Machado. Like she's trying to empty everyone's tank at the top of this hill, and then it's who can hold their legs on the downhill. And I think it's a smart tactic, because you've got to drop some of these other girls. You don't want to bring someone like Sklarbass into a sprint finish, not with a 2:01 800 metre PB. You don't want to be contending that on the home straight. You want to burn them off before you get there.
Well, it just crossed my mind earlier in the race. I mean, Sklarbass is a super talented athlete, that goes without saying. But I was just thinking, this is not going to be the course for her because of the things that we talked about in terms of the mountain running. She, as far as I'm aware, prefers much flatter courses. And Tilburg was a flat course. There wasn't much undulation there last year when she got the silver medal. Yes, it was sticky underfoot and it was heavy going underfoot. But I've got the feeling that hills aren't her forte. As we look now, well, Dudak now quite a bit of distance starting to appear between Dudak and the leading 3. And it's Battocletti now, having just worked her way around Machado now. So Battocletti Probably about just over 500 metres of running still to go. That was a very deliberate move from Machado, and it's got it. It's certainly separated her from the people behind her, but it's now Battocletti, father, of course, Giuliano Battocletti. He was a European junior medalist back in the 90s and competed internationally for Italy. Finished, I think, as high as in the top 20 or one of the world crosses back in, I think, the early 2000s. So now Battocletti she's seen her opportunity and moved to the front. And Machado, well, she definitely, the wheels have come off just a little bit. Lucan has edged round her.
You'd hope Machado's effort there has run herself into an individual medal, which is tremendous for a home championships.
It looks as though it's going to be the case. We saw that, although Aslihan came through very strongly in the final 500 metres. So they're now just starting to come down the hill at the far end of this park, and then they'll turn into the home straight. There you can see the main area, which includes the start and finish areas, and it's Battocletti now. She's about 150 metres away from the line, so Nadia Battocletti looks as though she's on her way to retaining her Spa European cross-country title. Nadia Battocletti is going to win for Italy. Nadia Battocletti takes gold here in Lisbon. Silver goes to Lucan of Slovenia. And then a long, long way back, but getting the cheers. It's going to be Mariana Machado, the first medal for Portugal in an individual race here in Lisbon.
You see a fast sprint finish between the girls, the fourth and fifth there. What a tight race. And like I said, you don't want to bring Sklabas into a finishing straight sprint there. And here we get started looking on this team result between perhaps between Great Britain and Italy. Yeah, Saskia Millard there losing some crucial team spots on the line there. Let's see what the effect that has on the overall result.
Good run from Izzy Fry in 6th place for Great Britain, Northern Ireland though. And then Saskia Miller, as you say, slipping back to 11th. Natavi of Italy pulled up a couple of places. We have Amelia Samuels just in front of us. So 10th is Samuels, 11 Matabe, the world under-20 mountain running champion, as the rest of the athletes come through the finish line. These are the women finishing in the 20s and the 30s, and there's still a lot of runners still to come.
So that was a reversal of the result of the 5,000 metres, I think, at the European Under-20 Championships, where the Slovenia won the gold from Battocletti.
Yes, I mean, Battocletti clearly thrives on the country. She was a bit of a surprise 12 months ago. I mean, she had some domestic credentials, but she certainly, I think, was not considered to be probably one of the gold medal contenders, but now she's really consolidated her reputation as a out-and-out cross-country runner who's definitely got some track pedigree as well.
I'm so pleased for Portugal because that's their first medal since 2013, subject to the junior result that we're still checking.
Yes, we're getting a bit of mixed messages on that, but we'll give you an update on the team competition in the under-20 men's race there. We're seeing a bit of jogging around of the positions. Well, it's looking as though Italy may just have edged it from... Well, having said that, we're, again, mixed messages. We're seeing unofficially equal points between Italy and Great Britain, Northern Ireland. France look as though they're very much confirmed in the bronze medal positions, led home by Manon Trapp, who we saw at various stages in that race, finishing 9th. And they had two other women in the top 20. As we just look at a recap of the race, and this is the finishing straight. Nadia Battocletti coming through to retain her Spa European cross-country title.
And for me there, I think Machado actually did her a bit of a favour breaking that race apart, because Lucan was finishing fast there and she looked strong, and I think she got detached in that really hard effort we saw in that last lap from the Portuguese athlete.
There doesn't look as though much left for Machado as she comes through the lines. I think she's done everything that she could have done. And as you say, it's always great to see a host nation standing on the podium. It just provides a little bit of extra impetus to the championships.
We've got a lot of spectators out here as well.
There we see the confirmed standings. Nadia Battocletti confirmed as the winner by 3 seconds from Clara Lucan of Slovenia, Mariana Machado taking bronze, and then Sklarbas of Switzerland, Dudek of Poland, and Fry of Great Britain, Northern Ireland. That completes the top 6. As we run down, perhaps picking out a couple of the other names. Saskia Millard, 11th. We talked about her during the course of the race. Mateve confirmed in 13th place. Pappenfuss, expecting her perhaps to show a bit higher. And Schneiders as well, the 2 Germans in 20th and 23rd place. So there was the top 30. And just to remind you, you can get the full results on www.european-athletics.org.
And this one, because we are going to listen to the words of the new Portuguese star, Mariana Machado.
I have to check my timetable now. How long to the next race?
10:55 for the under-23 men. That's what I've got down.
Marvellous indeed. As we look at the highlights and a recap of the women's under-20 race, here we see the standings. Well, Italy just edging out Great Britain, Northern Ireland. I think we're going to have to double-check those results a bit later on, because the 5th Italian scorer, Ludovica Cavalli, was in 15th place, and Amelia Samuels was in 12th place. So, according to my rule book, it's the higher placing of the 3rd scorer. Nevertheless, no question at all about the bronze. That does go to France.
Hi, I'm Nadia Battocletti. Sign up now to the European Athletics YouTube channel.